welcome to Americans Learn. My name is Lauren, and today I'm going to be watching a Hugbees video. I've watched one of these before on the Reacts channel, and usually that's probably where this one would go, but we're having a minor issue or two with the Reacts channel right now, in that the Sword Art Online Abridged video that I did ended up in a strike for the channel. Yay! So I'm going to do this here. We're going to roast every state license plate. On the other channel, I watched the one where he roasted the state flags. So this time we're doing the license plates. I cannot wait to see what he has to say about how horrendous all of them are. Actually, I like the South Dakota one. It's got Mount Rushmore on it, so maybe he'll like that one. But I don't really know. Don't forget that you can check out lots of other videos on this page as well. We have so many. We have so many different types of videos. Music, comedy, history, technology, animal stuff. Like, we've got so much here. Go ahead and check it out. Let's begin.
I'm only looking at the standard issue plates for each. Quick disclaimer, I'm only looking at the standard issue plates for each state. If I included specialty plates, this video would be 4 hours long.
Or longer.
And while it'd be infinitely funny and worth your time, that's just too good of content for YouTube. Let's get started.
Fair.
Well, shit. This might be harder than I thought. This is a damn good start, I'm not gonna lie.
It's cute.
Alabama finally did something good in life. Although maybe only half counts because they're first on this list thanks to the alphabet, which is a concept most native Alabamans continually have trouble grasping even into late adulthood. Standing out and receiving high praise for being first on a list is a huge contrast from the norm of Alabama consistently ranking in the bottom 10 states on nearly every important metric. Try not to squander this opportunity, Alabama, because unlike your cultural views on race mixing, your use of color here is exceptional. Well, that's pretty fucking presumptuous, Alaska. Calling yourself the last frontier when there's God knows how many more dangerous and harsher mountain ranges on Earth we haven't even fully explored. How about all those cave networks that are barely big enough for people to get through? And what about the entirety of the deep ocean that we haven't even mapped? How about space? I've watched Star Trek to know space.
I love, that's the final frontier. I love that they couldn't use Final Frontier because of Star Trek. I also love that he's just like dragging them for being arrogant.
Always be the final or last frontier. And I've seen enough piss in my life to know your flag's color reminds me of it. You need to drink more water, Alaska. So maybe you can help dilute your pompous and arrogant thought patterns. Arizona really can't stop boasting about the fact that they're home to America's vagina.
Well, okay. I still would like to see the Grand Canyon at some point. I do like this plate though, incidentally. I do think this is pretty cool looking. I like silhouettes, I like shadow. It looks cool to me. So I don't know what he's gonna say about it, but if he doesn't say it looks good, then he's wrong.
Maybe one day it'll give birth to a state with more than that to it, but for now, why don't you take your fork-looking cactuses here and use them to eat up the idea of talking about something else for once in your goddamn life. Diamonds from top to bottom.
The colors are good. The colors are good on that, though. This is weird. This is, I do not, Arkansas, wow. Okay, so our little flower thing in the cake, it looks like a different advertising thing that I'm seeing. I don't like this at all. I think this looks so strange. And like the diamond, I don't associate Arkansas with diamonds. And what do they mean by natural? I don't understand anything about this plate.
Are a scam. They're worthless, overpriced rocks that are only a successful product because most people align them with wealth and love thanks to aggressive marketing tactics and strong cultural association. Diamonds are a perfect metaphor for Arkansas's license plate, a uselessly boring piece of shit that only impresses people who fall for say-nothing word-of-mouth slogans or who are easily impressed. I'll say it again. What the fuck does the natural state mean?
Right?
Except nothing. Wow. I didn't think things could get even more boring. What a wimpy piece of shit, huh?
Especially because like California's got one of the most diverse, like it's so long. It's got like one of the most diverse ecosystems out like in America. It's crazy. You can go like skiing and then snorkeling within the same hour. Like, there's so much cool stuff and like cool imagery in California. Why would you go with absolutely nothing?
Was any sort of color or design too expensive for you to afford, California? I understand 99% of your budget is going towards figuring out how the fuck you're gonna make anyone happy in an overcrowded, overpolluted, melting desert hellhole of frivolous complaints and car traffic.
Dang.
But could you at least spare a couple bucks to go beyond our Secretary Dolores signed this one? Isn't it pretty? Oh, we don't want to mess up her handwriting. It's so lovely. While I'm normally a fan of black and white high contrast
work, this is kind of boring. Colorado. I mean, is that the Aurora Borealis in the background though? I wish that they'd like popped that one in there a little bit more. Also, I feel like this is where the Purple Mountains need to come in, right? The Purple Mountains, Purple Mountain Majesty. They should be here. This is where they should be. And then the Aurora Borealis should be more poppin'.
Works of art, your cocaine mountains here aren't exactly inspiring. Besides, that'd be more accurate to Florida if it wasn't as flat as the tits on the current wave of anime waifus. I appreciate the minimal design and aesthetic, it looks pretty good, but it also gives off the depressing vibe of winter's right around the corner to butt fuck you no matter how good your day is going.
I really do think that, like, if they had pumped up the greens and purple, like if they had pumped up the Aurora Borealis looking thing in the back, I don't know if that's there on purpose or if that's just this image, but like if they'd done that in the background and in the lettering, that would be really cool.
God damn it, Connecticut. You are 3 for 3 on blue backgrounds with generic template designs attached.
And like, again, like, and it's the Constitution state, Connecticut Constitution. It's just, this is so boring. The lettering is boring. The sky is like, whatever. I mean, granted, it does sum up Connecticut, don't it, though?
I figured after your lackluster flag and road sign showings, you could do something, anything, to make me think we shouldn't annex you from the Union. But I think it's about time we fire up the excavators, start moving some earth, and sail your ass into the Atlantic Ocean. And yeah, you know what? Drift a little bit south first so you can knock Long Island off the continent too and do New York a big favor at the same time.
Look, Bobby, a license plate better than Connecticut's. Delaware can afford 2 colors instead of 1.
This is an appropriate plate for how unapologetically average the state of Delaware is. I would give this no second glance in a lineup and never once consider forming an opinion on it. If I were from Delaware, I would blush a bright shade of red anytime I went to a license plate comparison contest, because I know it's just a place for me to kill a few hours of time until I receive my inevitable participation award, and never anything more than that. Hey, that's a pretty good slogan you can steal from me, Delaware. Delaware, never anything more than that. I'll say.
Or Delaware, participated. We're here too. Yay. Honestly, I will say most of my childhood, we went to Delaware beaches. So like the beaches I went to as a kid were all from Delaware. So I've got fond enough memories of Delaware, but like, I wouldn't know what other people associate with Delaware.
Say it. I'll fucking say it.
Dick and Balls?
I'm probably a bit biased from the fact that I performed my ceremonial Floridian duties before recording this video of assaulting a homeless man because he stole my drugs, but I don't hate this. The color scheme is different from the boring blues and yellows and stands out without becoming obnoxious. The orange design looks like some potently suckable testicles. And
see, I was right about balls. I was right.
The Shameless Tourism website link is designed in a way to not feel totally ham-fisted. Yeah, a handful of you are going to give me flack for not cracking down on the traditional lazy template jammed with state symbols. But the presentation here feels like someone thought of visual appeal beyond just slapping promotional shit in there.
And I do like the contrasting colors. The orange and green does actually look pretty cool.
I can't award anything above a C for this, but let's face it, we're looking at the best boilerplate option so far. And sometimes just being competent is all you need in a showcase because the competition is fucking awful. Except, that's what I wrote before I saw Georgia's license plate. Let's check it out. That's a pretty cozy plate, Georgia. And you know what? You're making me reevaluate Florida and look at my own biases, because this is actually a much better way to flourish a fruit-based design. Although
I
I'm
like this
making
one.
points on this one.
This one reminds me a little bit of like an Arizona tea can. You know, I can just see something like this with like the tree and the peaches and the little farmland. I can see it like wrapped around like a peach tea can from Arizona tea.
One in comparison because of the lack of succulent looking testicles. You've shown me that maybe I'm giving my home state a bit too much credit on their half-assed effort, when I could have a lovely landscape to warm my eyes. If anything, I should be hanged from the gallows for even considering defending Florida. But let's give Georgia the clear victory and move on with our lives. What are you, gay? Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. None of you watching thought there was a problem, did you?
I don't know why that struck me as so funny, but it did. I was like, I mean, okay, Hawaii. Sure, your child's rainbow picture. Why not? I would like I just wish there was like a waterfall or something, you know? Like something that gives the rainbow a purpose. Either that or they need to throw a freaking pineapple right in the middle.
Maybe the fact I brought up testicle sucking in the previous 2 entries should give you an idea of my overtly sexual liberation. Regardless, I wouldn't have sex, or fuck with, as the kids say, this license plate.
Yeah,
it's just missing
everything.
Anything. The rainbow here.
I mean, I can picture such a cool one. Like, honestly, the Hawaii license plate should look like a Lisa Frank poster. Like, that's what it should look like. I want bright colors. I want like a waterfall with green everywhere, and then the water, like the rainbow can still happen, and there needs to, I don't know, again, the pineapple.
Super basic, bitch, and the rest of the plate doesn't have anything to it. At least when I cut Florida a break, they had green text and a few things to catch my eye. Hawaii just catches these hands if anyone tries to convince me this plate wasn't made in 5 minutes tops.
Or less.
God damn, all right.
Dang,
yeah.
Idaho?
Yeah. Idaho finally hitting its redemption arc on this one.
Pretty. I like
fucking love this one. The scenic text is
famous potatoes.
Catchy but not intrusive. The red, white, and blue color scheme cascades great, meshes very well with the graphics, and hits the patriotic notes. And they even reminded us of the potatoes at the bottom. Let's just give this thing the 10 it deserves. I'm giving it bonus points because everything else they've done with their state decor is pretty shit, and this is decidedly not shit. A rare
Alabama and Idaho
performance from the masters of spuds. So let's let them have their week of celebration before they invariably fuck it up again. Sneaky Lincoln's gonna fucking cut ya. The outline of the Chicago skyline is pretty good, but I'm longing for more color creativity here.
That'd be good.
When Idaho used the American flag colors, they found a great gradient design to work with, but here you have generic blue background. And
I do keep getting distracted by Lincoln here. Like, half of his face is in here. Like, this is Lincoln. He's ready to come and get ya. I don't know. It's like the half of his face is so weird.
Like, I tried a little bit with the white skyline, but then you hastily went, oh, fuck. Oh, shit, we need red.
Well, it also feels like they were like, Illinois, there's more than just Chicago. Like, that's what it feels like they did last minute by adding Lincoln in. It's like, okay.
The letters and numbers, make them red. We're patriotic, we swear. You're this close to being interesting, but it just feels like you wanted to play it too safe. Also, who told you that putting your state name in a font stolen from Microsoft Office Word art was a good idea?
Connecticut did it too. Okay, Indiana.
I'm a bit puzzled on this one.
Yeah, I'm a little perplexed too, but mostly I think because I've seen this bridge before, but in Pennsylvania.
Luckily, I don't have to say anything here.
There's smoke coming up. When
researching this plate, I found this fun Easter egg for the description on Wikipedia. I've not edited this or faked this in any way. This was really here when I found this. This is the current version of Indiana's license plate, featuring a covered bridge over a creek between two forests. One of the better Indiana plates after years of frankly crappy designs.
Fun.
Well, okay then. How about for this one we check out the old design? Oh! God, what the fuck? Oh, hey,
yeah.
Cool, look at that. Iowa put a portrait of their favorite residents on the license plate. After all, about 90% of Iowa's land is dedicated to farming, and apparently no percentage of that land was dedicated to graphic designers because he kind of just ripped off Idaho and made it not as good. I'll admit it.
And a little bit Illinois. A little bit of Illinois there, too.
It's on the higher end of the tier list, but it's also not something I'm wowed or impressed by. It's pleasant to look at, but inspiring? Fuck no.
I feel like the white, because of like the way that they've done the silhouette of next in the blue, the way that it like immediately just is the white background for this text is weird, especially because there's grass under it. I feel like there should be something else happening in here. Like the grass and the sky makes it feel like there should be something else going on. It's just very strange to me. It feels like it almost had a good idea and then it like pussied out. Or it's just, I don't know. Maybe they needed more of a gradient. They needed something a little bit more in the top, maybe. It's this white void behind the grass for me. It's kind of terrifying.
Ad astra per aspera is Latin for Kansas is so uncreative they recycle this design on absolutely everything they get their grubby little hands on. Even though it's not a puke factory like Delaware or a bland affair like Connecticut, I think I hate this one the most. Because it perfectly encapsulates the spirit of lazy state symbolism design. Kansas didn't think it was good enough to ruin their welcome signs and state flags with this over-designed state seal. They had to make sure you were reminded of this ugly graphic anytime you were caught behind one of the 7 people in Kansas who can legally operate a motor vehicle without running over an immigrant. Kentucky, were you hacked? This looks like someone snuck into your design department and published a rough draft as the final version.
Oh my God.
Why is Bluegrass State clumsily crammed up there at the top in a near unreadable font?
Everything is so, why is it that way? You don't know where to read. It feels like they tried to do the Z thing where it's like, if you want someone to follow the eye, you want their eyes to follow the design. So you put stuff in the shape of a Z, right? So they'll go this way and then they'll look down this way and then they'll look across. And that's like a good way to design something. If it's an image, it makes the eye follow exactly where you want to go and it helps tell a cohesive tale in a single photograph. But like, it looks like they kind of tried to do that, but like whoever was doing it was drunk or something because everything is just in the wrong spot. It hurts to look at this, honestly.
Why is the outline of the state just here? Kentucky has tons of symbolism, from the idealistic horses of the Kentucky Derby to the realistic depiction of a fake colonel's pressure-cooked secret recipe. The best you could come up with is, it's Kentucky, so let's show Kentucky.
There's not even any bluegrass.
I understand the blue gradient because it's connection to bluegrass, but this whole thing feels so mismatched for an allegedly wild state. If I had a loving family, this license plate would convince me Kentucky wasn't even worth stopping in for a bathroom break on our annual road trip to the in-laws. Take notes, California. You can have your state name at the top in action-packed cursive without giving up after that point. Louisiana's plate is super solid, except I can't help but feel the slogan "Sportsman's Paradise" is a desperate advertisement to help generate revenue to reclaim even more land from the sea.
I feel like what they need, it's like, this is another one that is like, it's not just New Orleans. Like, Illinois needs not just Chicago. Louisiana is more than New Orleans. I do like the bird.
Allegedly, the slogan refers to Louisiana's great hunting and fishing opportunities thanks to an abundance of swamps, bayous, and wildlife. But to me, it just screams, we had to pay the bills, so now here's Louisiana, proudly presented by the wonderful folks at Bass Pro Shops. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Vacation land is a pretty lame moniker, but at least it's surrounded by an appealing design. You get a little tiny birdie and
it kind of looks like embroidery a little bit, which is kind of fun.
Pine cone and some green. Maine made sure they did just enough to not be considered awful. I'm not going to be handing this one any ribbons, but if I had to angrily glare at this when someone cuts me off in the drive-thru line to order the last lobster roll, at least it's a design more likely to calm me down than to make me start ramming their bumper all the way to Canada. There she is.
Hi.
The half-regurgitated spaghetti dinner, half decoration of the Save the Bees coalition known as the Maryland flag. I can't say anything I didn't say in the state flag video here, since half the plate is literally the fucking state flag. So let's talk about the rest of the license plate.
It should have a crab on it. Come on, Maryland. The flag is good. I like the flag, but you like crabs, baby. Blue crabs. That's where the heart lies. That's what you really need. Also, they could have put a little bit more like blue and yellow in there to sort of talk about the Old Bay a little bit. I would have put a little crabby on there. Something with the Chesapeake Bay, because like there's so many cool images of things around the Chesapeake Bay area, and it's such a beautiful area. So that's what they should have put on this flag.
Plate. It fucking sucks.
Not
Maryland
a good
at the
plate.
top is boring, and
I've literally never seen this plate either. By the way, I lived in Maryland for like 26 years. I never saw this flag.
rest is nothing.
This plate. Never once.
Have I shamelessly promoted my state flag roasting video enough yet? Jesus Christ, Massachusetts. I didn't know that you were the most haunted state in America.
The
I
spirit.
think I hear a ghost right now. Boo! Boo! Boo!
I like
Boo! Boo! Pretty fucking good. There's a lot of state symbols, great color palette, and look, it even has the
See?
spectacular peninsulas I've heard so much about. If only the roads in Michigan were even usable and not just thinly disguised pothole death traps for
Yeah,
the
that'd be
46% obesity rate population to get extra stuck in. Then I'd be able to drive anywhere in your state and appreciate this a lot more. Minnesota, you stupid fucking morons. You don't have 10,000 lakes. You have 11,842. This should be the land of people who can't count. I think Mississippi outsourced this one because there's no way all of their notoriously sub-90 IQ residents could have come up with something
Rude.
this good.
I do like this a
heavenly
lot.
guitar on a license
I like
plate?
the S's.
That's amazing.
S's
It's just a
all-
damn shame the last noteworthy work from Mississippi's creative culture was, look how pretty the fires of downtown are after the local arsonist has his way with it.
I do like the linked arms of the S's. That's really fun. Mississippi was one of the very first states any of us learned to spell, by the way, because you can say it and spell backwards. It remains the only state I can spell backwards without looking
I'm
at it.
genuinely impressed Mississippi avoided coming in last again the same way they do in life, but I suppose the people who survived Mississippi's favorite sport of baseball, except we use someone's head as the ball, have found that their skulls have grown back just a little bit stronger this time around. Good job actually doing something for once, Mississippi. Missouri, you've really got to stop this thing where you're trying to do whatever you can do to usurp Mississippi for the worst state in the Union. Uninspired America color scheme, state seal instead of a thoughtful design, celebrating the state's bicentennial with just the word bicentennial and
Yeah.
the years.
That's sad.
God, this fucking
This is
sucks.
boring.
It's like they were handed an example booklet on starting points, copied a design from it, changed the word example to Missouri, and said, hot damn, now that's the Missouri way right there. Props to you guys for doing something inventive with the state outline, but now let's give you a score of negative 34,000 for doing.
What is that? 56. Oh, no. Okay. Okay. That's just the fake license plate number. I was trying to figure out what kind of number that is. Why does it say Montana -10? Is it because it gets cold? Like, sometimes it seems like there was an actual plate chosen, and sometimes it's like it's just this weird image. It just throws me off, and I'm like, wait, what? What is the 10? Is that supposed to be the year? I don't know. It looks like you're saying how cold it is.
Doing absolutely nothing else. Slapping a buffalo skull in the middle of the numbers there isn't going to save your ass from the plague of non-design you went for here.
Especially because it makes it look like a decimal. Like it looks like 56, but like then just 4 extra numbers instead of 560 or whatever. It just looks like a weird decimal.
Montana's lead designer probably got as far as contain everything within the state's outline and then suffered a massive aneurysm and died on the spot. And since going beyond that would mean someone from Montana had to apply critical thinking skills not related to castrating a steer, the entire project was doomed. Nebraska, you're gonna be held back a grade, mister, because if you think this license plate is anything remarkable, you need to wait another year until you figure it the fuck out. Because apparently starting in 2023, Nebraska's standard issue license plate is going to replace this boring piece of shit with this.
Ooh.
Holy fucking shit, this is a badass license
Ooh, that's
plate.
good.
But as of this video, there's still a couple months left of 2022
Well, it's
until next year rolls
2025
around
now,
when Nebraska officially adopts this as the standard license plate.
I like
Nebraska, I want you to stare at this video and feel far too emasculated by how much cooler future you is compared to how you are now. I'm getting a little tired of the state shape being slammed in the middle of the numbers with nothing interesting.
Oh, is that what that
alongside it.
was? I like didn't even notice it, honestly. Just like zoned out on it.
At least when I complimented Regional Old Person Sweat Factory Florida's design, they paired the state art with something, anything. But to Nevada's credit, they do save it
I
a
like
bit
the
with the lovely
geometric
mountain range and the real rootin'
patterns.
tootin' font for the state's name. That's the exact font you'd see at the beginning of a grungy, racist 70s cowboy movie. And in a
true.
way, I just described Nevada perfectly.
Also
Oh,
fair.
okay.
Okay.
So I guess if I go to New Hampshire, I can piss on the Capitol building and walk through the nearby ice cream parlor butt fucking naked. What are you gonna do, arrest me? You can't, you dumb assholes. Your entire state identity is built around the idea of living free. So good luck trying to tell me I'm not living free so I can do whatever I want.
I think it's I think this is like I'm trying to figure out what's in the background. Is it the state like outline? It looks like a cliff they're telling you to jump off, which makes sense. Live free or die. Here's a cliff you can jump off. But like no, it's not what the state looks like. New Hampshire's like this. It's like a little V. So this is a cliff. I'm just like, because like New Hampshire's like a little V and it's next to Vermont, which is another V. They are telling you to jump off a cliff.
I think when I'm 55, I'll head up to New Hampshire and begin stalking women at night and picking some out to turn into a new collection of skin-bound books. Good luck giving me the death penalty, because then you'd have to obey the law to do it. So which is it? Do I get to live free, or do you kill me because I'm living free? And to do so, you would have to implement laws that prevent me from living free.
Yeah,
Nice
Bernie.
catch-22, idiots. License plate's
I actually
pretty
don't
good.
remember if he's
Good
from-
work. All right, I got it.
New
We take
Jersey.
the default design, you know? Blaine state shape in the middle, slogan at the bottom. Except to show people what New Jersey's all about, we really make our gradient piss yellow. I want people to know what Jersey smells and tastes like 24/7 before they even have to step foot in our borders. I kind of dropped the ball on this one, in my
little
opinion.
bit.
This feels like a bad mashup of the state welcome sign and state flag, which were
I honestly it's the yellow on red. It makes me kind of dizzy. It feels like it would be kind of dangerous. And I think I think I commented about Bernie Sanders being from New Hampshire, but he's actually from Vermont. And I know I made that mistake. And I did have to check it. I'm like, basically they're the same. Vermont and New Hampshire. Sorry if you're from either Vermont or New Hampshire, but I feel like they should just be one state.
were mediocre and amazing, respectively. You're so close to getting something right, but it just feels off. The Zia's sun is a wonderfully meaningful symbol, but the proportions here make it look wonky. The bold yellows of the flag here don't work the same with the busyness of a license plate design. And the patterns at the top just look
Unfinished.
tackily out of place.
I think they look a little unfinished.
Nothing about this plate is bad. It just doesn't feel like any of it works together. You had a lot of great pieces from your unique cultural influences in previous designs, but you kind of just threw it on here with no rhyme or reason and called it a day. For example, here's the current issue specialty plate
Ooh.
commemorating the state centennial, and it
That's
looks
pretty.
way
I like that.
better. Honestly, just
I
make
like
this
that a
thing
lot.
the official plate and you're golden. Apparently, this design was selected from a statewide survey in 2019, which once again proves New Yorkers think they know much more than they actually do. You guys really chose the most standard recycled design and jerked off over how good it looks because you added some New York icons to the bottom and called it a day, didn't you? Well, I'm here to tell you
Should've
this
put
is a
Spider-Man
pretty
on there.
inaccurate plate. The city skyline and the Statue of Liberty are a good start to represent New York, but remove all the wilderness crap and replace it with an overly angry man getting in a trash fight with a Midwesterner over hot dog toppings, while he's actively freezing to death because his six-figure salary doesn't even cover all of his rent. That's New York.
Yep.
Okay, for this next one, we're going to lump North Carolina and
it.
Ohio together, which normally would work out fine, but North Dakota's in the way. Don't worry, I'm not skipping North Dakota. There's a really specific reason I'm lumping these two together and starting with Ohio.
I like
North
Ohio.
Carolina and Ohio tend to get in some strong bitch fits over the Wright brothers. You know, the guys who invented the airplane. The Wright brothers were born in and created the first airplane in Ohio, but the first actual flight took place in North Carolina. Ohio wanted everyone to know their significance in the world of aviation, so they unveiled this as their current standard license plate. It's the birthplace of aviation, as well as the birthplace of stupid mistakes. The plane's flying backwards. The Wright Flyer's design is mirrored compared to a modern airplane. So the banner in this case would be getting pushed instead of pulled. So this entire picture based on physics and wind direction makes no fucking sense. Ohio corrected their mistake within the same day they had unveiled the license plate design, but by then about 35,000 had already been printed and had to be confiscated and recycled.
That still looks weird to me. I don't know. Like, whatever.
And here's where North Carolina's Department of Transportation comes in with this banger tweet. Y'all leave Ohio alone. They wouldn't know. They weren't there. And for that reason alone, I'm giving North Carolina a perfect score because they not only get all of their own points, but all of the points I would have given to Ohio as well.
I don't like this as much. The way that it's like on top, the transparency of the first in flight, it's hard to read. It's weird looking. I don't like this at all. I'm sorry, North Carolina. I think it's actually kind of hard to look at.
Congrats on getting burned so hard you flunked out of the competition.
Although the pettiness was great.
Shit, okay, North Dakota, I get it. You wanted to make sure you weren't skipped, so you brought your A game.
I like it.
Look at this totally
This is really pretty.
buffalo. Absolutely criticizing you down to your soul for taking a day off from your cardio routine. Color work here is really fucking...
I've taken like 9 months off of my cardio routine. Possibly 12 months. I don't remember the last time I did cardio. I mean, I walk everywhere, but like, that doesn't really count.
Good. And the top font looks like it's ready to kick my ass. And the wheat on the side works with everything. I'd just be a bit more careful with the Peace Garden State slogan. It's awful close to New Jersey's, and being mistaken for them is a sentence worse than death. Oklahoma, for the last fucking time, I'm not gonna follow you on Twitter, so get this shit out of my face. Well, hot damn. Oregon.
Also, it looked like it said Travelock, which sounds like a Klingon.
Might just be the comeback king. Albeit that's a title they're gonna have to take from California because they have San Francisco. I've got no real complaints here except for the formatting's a little awkward, but it's nothing too terrible.
No,
in the last two contests, you were the masters of smattering diarrhea on my screen, but now all I see is a license plate that I will never see again in the city of Portland because I'll be too distracted by all the sun-faded "not my president" and "coexist" bumper stickers. Huh? What? Oh, fuck, I just had the most horrible dream.
This I've seen a million and trillion times. This one I've seen so much.
I dreamt that Pennsylvania was so inept that they based their license plate on the old Visa card logo. Yeah, sure. It's a bit bland, but
it's boring,
it's fine. It's appealing.
I mean, it's got a wave in there. That's nice.
Actually. I like both the Ocean State slogan and the tiny little anchor to desperately remind people that you're a seafaring state. Because you're well aware the only thing currently stopping Massachusetts from invading is they'd have to drop their self-obsessed worldview long enough to look at their borders.
I think that this should be, instead of gray, I don't like the gray, I think it should be like a blues and whites sort of situation, and there should be a third outline. So like a third outline along the, I can't ever point out stuff, but like a third outline around the wave. So it should go from like a light blue, white to like a darker blue, but like I'm trying to think of the exact shade I want. Sort of like a cornflower blue. What color blue am I thinking? Yeah, like kind of like a cornflower blue. This, like something like this, maybe a little bit lighter, a little bit with a little bit more white in it, but something like this. You know, this is good. I like it. Anyway, that's kind of what yeah, sort of like this. Like this sort of design. Anyway. It's not important, but like that's what I probably would have did.
And you're going to need to be able to construct some oil rigs to live on fast when the time comes to surrender your pitiful landmass. While I breathe, I hope. Wow. What a great slogan for your 40-year-old mom's book club to get me through the day. You go, girl. This is the
I wish
perfect
this had a
license plate for me
sunset.
to longingly gaze at while I wait for my kids to pile into the SUV after soccer practice, because I've got to rush them over to my friend Janine's house for a play date so I can get home in time to have my asshole pounded by Denzel from down the street before my husband gets home. He's not that much more attractive than my husband, but he just knows how to pleasure me and consider my needs, you know? Oh, and the license plate's pretty boring. Fucking pathetic.
Aw.
That carved granite tribute to men of substance is such a fine example of your hollow existence.
So he did not like it. I remember saying at the beginning of this a million years ago when this video started that I like this one. He doesn't like it.
In South Dakota.
I thought that the faces were a little. I didn't really remember they were being so brown. Not gonna lie, like that's sort of. I remember seeing this and it was a little bit more, with like the Black Forest was in there and there was it looked a little different from my recollection. Like this is what I remember it looking like. There's no Black Forest in this one, but I do remember seeing it with the Black Forest at some point, I think. But this is kind of what I recall from when I was in South Dakota. The better contrast, essentially.
Dakota. That monument
That was
is
a really
the
long time
only
ago.
thing you've ever been and ever will be known for in modern history. The men it represents accomplished great things,
Some of
pushed themselves forward, and didn't just sit around masturbating to a single standout achievement. You could take the individual biographies of any president on that hill, and they would contain more interesting fragments than the entirety of all of South Dakota's 17,000 years of existence ever since it was first settled by native people. You're not trying anymore. And worst of all, you're
coasting.
boring everyone. Everyone is sick of Mount Rushmore. Let me know when you bulldoze it and install a...
But it could be fun if they put the Badlands on there. I mean, that would confuse some people because they look similar to the Grand Canyon, from what I understand, because I've only been to the Badlands and not the Grand Canyon. But Badlands were cool, dude. Like, Badlands were sick. They were a lot of fun to wander around in.
Six Flags. The only 10 I see here is the amount of times I want to slap whoever made this design.
It is
0
boring.
out of 10.
There's nothing even to say.
Show the design they replaced in 2012 with this piece of shit.
See, that's cool.
You know what? Show the design before this one, too.
Oh, so cool.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, Texas. Jesus. You are seriously blind. Or eat rocks for breakfast, or hit your head on a rock too hard, or had rocks for parents, or...
Something about rocks.
Good God, I want to strangle every government official that you have ever had for this. This is such a fucking downgrade, and it sucks so bad. Allegedly, it's a high visibility plate for better readability, but I can't believe you've had this design for over 10 years and
Oof.
haven't gotten tired of it.
They haven't fixed
This
it?
is so bland, so uninspired, so fucking boring. I'm revoking all the points you have earned in previous contests. Every single one.
Okay.
This decade-spanning snooze fest has just put Texas firmly in last place. The Lone Star State can be the star of a go fuck yourself show on the bottom of the scoreboard now.
Wow.
Get the fuck out of my video. Utah, why are you so fucking bipolar? You absolutely demolished the welcome sign contest, then make easily the worst flag on the planet. And now, here we are with a great license plate.
This is a
It's
pretty good license
exhausting
plate.
trying to decide if I love or hate you, Utah. So let's just do what everyone does when one of your many Mormons comes to the door. Pretend I didn't notice you and refuse to answer it until you go away. You guys know that colors besides green exist, right? Being the Green Mountain State doesn't mean you have to be all green all the time. I don't think I feel comfortable hanging out with a state that's so up its own ass about putting on appearances that it can't let its hair down and enjoy a shade of red or some highlights every now and then. Doubly ironic that both your name is Virgin, and your slogan is Virginia is for lovers, because absolutely no one is going to want to fuck you if they see you with this boner-killing
This is
license
very
plate.
boring.
Sure, I guess. But let's flash back to the 90s and check out the plates from back then. You'll
Okay.
notice the only real difference is the wacky font you guys
Yeah.
used to use for Washington. Why'd you change it? This makes me feel like the license plate's trying to start its own game show.
It is
I guess
very
Washington
exciting.
just hates fun, and the only game it wants to play is, what's the bare minimum we can do to have a not shitty license plate? Wild and Wonderful should be replaced with Mild and Blunderful.
So many of these ones, like they just use like Delaware, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, like they're all using just the same colors. And I'm like, y'all can do something a little different. You can. I've not spent a lot of time in West Virginia. I've driven through parts of it, lots of forests, some weird hillbillies there that I've found by accident. And it used to be where the boys that went to my school and college, they would go to West Virginia on weekends to go to the strip clubs there. And that's basically my recollections of West Virginia.
I didn't expect much from not even real Virginia, but this plate looks more like a movie prop than an actual government identification tool.
Also, like, just use any of the imagery from the song Country Roads Take Me Home. How about that? You could have some beautiful, like, put some mountains, put some trees, put like a little winding path. I think you can make this nice.
Get your shit together, West Virginia, and design something.
And then change have it West Virginia at the top, and then at the bottom, instead of Wild Wonderful, right? Take Me Home. Or West Virginia, you could put Country Roads on there. Like, allude to the song that like a whole lot of people think is America's anthem.
Worthwhile if you're going to try to convince everyone you're an actual state. After all, regular Virginia spans further west than West Virginia. Seriously, look it up. You guys are good at nothing. It's a shame you segmented all the interesting stuff to the top.
Cheese?
Because at that resolution, it looks like a cheap auto-filled in clip art. You're called America's Dairyland. Get crazy. Show some giant lactating titties or sprinkle cheese curds all over the fucking thing. I understand your state's so nice that if I rear-end someone, they'd immediately get out and apologize to me. But grow a fucking spine and let your decorations run wild for once.
Also, like, the red to the orange is weird. And then, like, I don't know, some of the colors choices are strange in this.
Wyoming. Don't you just love how poetic it is that they're last? Super quick history lesson for anyone out of the loop. I made a video insulting Wyoming from top to bottom because no one lives there, so it's perfectly fine to do so. In the state welcome sign video, they knocked it the fuck out of the park with an incredible first place entry. In the state flag video, they fell somewhere in the middle, mostly by virtue that the vast majority of state flags are fucking terrible. I've had my ups, downs, and ups again with Wyoming. And I can't think of anything more poignant than having them wrap up the state roasting trilogy with their most likely Wild West inspired entry. I'm gonna get out of the way for this one.
Okay.
Let's do it. Show us what you got, Wyoming.
Oh, it's the same. That's pretty cool, though. I like it. I like the rope around the side. Cowboy silhouette.
Oh, God.
I mean, it looks very similar.
It's good, but...
Similar to the,
It's good, but hang on.
I love the sounds and stuff like this.
Take this. Do a little of that.
Yeah, it's the same as the,
Yep. Then we
as the...
take that one.
What is the word? The other one. The flag? No, the state welcome sign. Down.
No, fuck. Come on. There we go. Move this here. Move that there. Move that there. There. Now it's perfect.
That is pretty good.
It's still the best one there is, though. Well done, Wyoming.
They did a good job.
Well done.
Very similar to this welcome sign. But if you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Gonna hum this song. Lorem Ipsum. Top 5 license plates. Trying trying to read what he says before it makes it obvious. So Wyoming is going to be on that list. Obvi. Okay, so it's 2023, Nebraska's in second. All right. Arizona, that was a good one. Idaho was also good, yes. Okay. North Carolina. No, North Dakota. Okay. North Dakota was a pretty good one, too. Cool. You know what? I'm not mad about this list. I think this is pretty good. Awesome. That was a fun little ending of it. And I'm so sorry. This video lasted a million years. Topics. Can we roast your spelling? We can roast me for saying Bernie Sanders was from New Hampshire or something. How about that? Interesting. Yeah, sounds right. Let me know if I should do more of his stuff. Because I think I've definitely watched the flags one for the show, or I think, you know what? I keep thinking I maybe saw his, I was thinking about the welcome signs, and I'm like, did I watch his version of welcome signs, or did I watch Scott Kramer's welcome signs? Because, like, I feel like I've seen some of these before, and the welcome signs, I was like, I don't remember if I saw Hugbees welcome signs video or if I watched Scott Kramer's welcome signs video, and I did that on my own. Like, that wasn't something, I don't know. I don't remember. But in any case, so I don't know. It's all confusing all over the place. Thank you so much for watching this video. There's lots of other types of videos here to choose from. And I will, let me know what else I should look at. I'll see you in the next one.